Well, it's time to upgrade my audio. But have I made the right choice? I bloody hope so. Let's find out after this. Yes, it was time to upgrade my audio because my audio was a little lackluster, to say the least. If you look back at some of my videos, you will see they were noisy and I've tried to remove the noise and it affected the vocals. So the editing was a little dodgy. So I thought, you know what? Let's get back into making these videos and really improve that audio. And hopefully this device right here, this is the Rode. I know you've got the top-down view, but yeah, this is the RodeCaster Duo. Now, I went for the Duo, one, because I'm tight and this is £200 cheaper. But two, I don't need 4 XLR inputs. I've got no friends. So there's literally just me with a microphone. So that'll do for me. And it's got a nice small footprint, so it fits anywhere. If I want it on my desk, if I can carry it around into a different room and I don't need to be linked to my computer. Right now, I'm connected to my phone, which I'm recording this with via USB-C. And it's working flawlessly. All the effects, all the processing is going directly into the recording. And that's just, it makes my life easier. All I need to do, really, is go into post and sort the EQ out. That's literally it. All the compression, even my big bottom, it's what we get the RodeCaster Duo for, isn't it? That big bottom. So, yeah, we'll have a walkthrough and see if it's any good. This is my impressions. This is not a review because I only received this unit last night and had a bit of a play with it and decided to make the video today. So, we'll have a quick walk around the RodeCaster Duo. And if you look straight away on the back, you've got only 2 XLR inputs. Now, the RodeCaster Pro 2 has 4. And the R combination inputs, you can put a XLR or a line-in jack into there. So it's a bit more functional. I think the original RodeCaster only had the straight XLR inputs, which was very limiting. We do also get 2 1/4-inch monitor outs. So you've got your left and your right as usual. And right next to that, you've got your 1/4-inch headphone jacks. Again, just 2 because you've only got 2 mics, so you only need 2 headphone outs, which are controlled independently just on the top with these 2 dials here. You also have 2 USB-C inputs. Now, you can route this directly to your main PC and you can connect it to a secondary PC at the same time. So streamers, you will love this thing. I think that's mainly what this is focused at, the streaming industry. So you've got that. You also can record directly to an SD card, which I've got right in there, if you can see that. And below that, you've got an Ethernet port, which leads me to believe there's going to be some updates where that becomes more functional, because this unit also has Wi-Fi. So any firmware updates can come through Wi-Fi. So it's nice that we've got a physical Ethernet port. Next to that, we have the power USB-C, followed by the power button. And that's pretty much it. You've got a Kensington lock. I've never used one of them in my life, if I'm honest. And round the sides, and you've got nothing. On the front, you've now got a TRRS input. So if you want to use a headset with it, if you want to put your headphones into monitor with, or you want to put a headphone in with a microphone, you can do that because it is a TRRS, which is nice and handy. I've never had, this is the first RodeCaster product I've had, but as far as I'm aware, this wasn't available on the RodeCaster Pro 2. It's just made its return back on this one. So, right, and here we have it, the whole control center. It's where you control all the magic that's under the hood. I'm not a big fan of all the colors, but, you know, it's functional because you know what you're doing just by the color indication. So, what we have from left to right is 4 sliders. And the first one is obviously control of my mic, which it's very, very clean. And there's no phantom power on this. There's no cloud lifter. This is a Shure SM7B. There's no cloud lifter. There's no FET head. There's no anything creating extra gain. It is literally all done from this little box, which is astounding. You have a second slide. All these sliders, you can move them around. I'll show you that in a minute. At current, I have the second slider set as a secondary microphone, which stay tuned because I do have the Rode Wireless Me arriving tomorrow. And this has got the function where it can connect to that directly. So I want to try that out. That's why I ordered it, because I do like a wireless microphone every now and then for when standing up. I mean, I do like this format. This format for me when I'm making videos is more comfortable because I can focus on what I'm doing. You know, I can zoom in a bit more because I'm very handsy. So when I'm stood there, I feel slightly uncomfortable and I'm doing all this. So this format works for me. I focus in more. I can hear everything that's going on and it's just more comfortable for me. So I do like this format. But anyway, I digress. The third slider I've got set as Bluetooth. Now, if you are a streamer or you want to do a radio show, this is really handy because you can bring callers in from your phone. You know, it's got mix minus, so the caller would not hear themselves back. So you wouldn't get that echo. So that's really handy. And the fourth one is for these here pads, which we'll get into in a minute. Now, you can select, that's your monitor to make sure it's on. You've also got a mute. So that's handy. If you click the button, you can then go into the settings. As you'll see, it's a Rode device and you've got loads of Rode microphones to choose from and a basic condenser and a basic dynamic setting as well as a line in. But it's nice that they put the Shure SM7B on because it is a very popular microphone, even though it's made by Shure and not Rode. I like that. Now, as you'll see, my level's set to 55 decibels. So it's got plenty of gain. This thing goes up to 75 decibels. So again, that's brilliant. But where this thing comes alive is the effects. Now, the effects on this are astounding. The post-processing it does is fantastic. The things that'll take you forever to do in post, you know, you shoot your video, you record your audio, you then bring it into Adobe Audition or Premiere, and then you've got it all to do. This makes it so much better. If we just go back here, you can add your depth. As you can see, I like loads of it. You can take that depth off, you know, and sparkle. I don't normally have that much sparkle on, to be fair. That's about the level of the sparkle I like, but you can take that off as well. And the punch is it's the thing. And when you take that off and take all processing off completely, this is the mic raw with no post-processing at all. I mean, it's still a very good mic. You know, interestingly enough, I'm hearing a bit of a noise floor. I don't know if that's coming through my headset or actually the microphone. I'll find out in post, see if that's there then. But for now, we're going to turn the processing back on and we're going to add some depth to it and a lot of punch because I love the punch and just about half of the sparkle. And interestingly enough, when I've done that, a lot of the background noise is now gone. That hissing I was hearing in my ears is gone just by turning them on. Right, we do have an advanced section. In here, you will see the wonder of this thing. So you can see we've got a high pass filter on. I have mine set to around about 60 as usual, normally. And I've got my dodgy glass on. I think that's set at 70. So I normally have mine set about 60. It's letting us do 61. So you know that'll do for me. And then if we move on, we've got a de-esser. So all that sibilance in your voice, which can really fatigue the ears, you know. So you've got that, so it captures that and tries to de-ess it. We then have a noise gate. I don't generally bother with a noise gate because I find them pretty useless because the noises in your room control the environment rather than that. But there are some things you can't help, say, computer running behind you. So you can control your environment, you know, but the noise gate's there if you need it. It is on at the minute. That must be that by default, but you can just simply do that and turn it off. And as you can tell, you can hear a lot more of the noise. But my problem is with it that you're going to have that noise regardless. So as soon as you talk, all that noise that's in the background is going to come through anyway. So you're best off controlling your environment as much as you can. And if you cannot control your environment, then the noise gate's there. Then we have the compressor. I love compression. If you look at my old videos, you can see I love compression. And this one's fully functioned as well. If you want to change the ratio, which I generally do, I like a 2.4 to 1. That's how I like it. That's my comfortable, my threshold, normally down to about there. Now, I like compression, but the problem with my editing is I have to do a lot of it because I've moved from this. This is the Behringer Xenix QX1204. This is the USB version. When I used to do live gigs, I used to have the non-USB version of this. When I decided to do YouTube and stuff, I've tried other ones. I tried a Focusrite Solo. I tried a Audio Technica audio interface. I don't like the actual interfaces. What I prefer is a proper mixer because it gives you more control. You know, it gives me more control over the actual sound that goes in. So if I want to set a basic EQ before I record, I can do that on this. And that's what I like. But the problem is, this has the preamps in this are very noisy. And the problem I was running into was, in post, I had to put that much noise reduction on and, you know, try to EQ out all that noise, which was hard. And then you had to put really heavy noise reduction on. And then I had my compressor, which brings that all back. It was a nightmare. You know, the amount of times that exported me audio or then listened to it back on different devices and had to go back in. So this is the reason I migrated to this. Don't get me wrong. For live performances, these are great. It's just when you record, this is going to pick everything up and you're going to notice everything. So it needed changing, but it's still a good desk. It is, but not for my purposes. So that's being replaced. But interestingly, like I said, I got the Duo version over the Pro 2 because it's a smaller footprint. But if I do ever need extra mic inputs, I can then line out that into this, which gives me an extra 4 XLRs in there. So it's a win-win situation, really. So I'll not get rid of it, which is a change for me because I normally sell everything. So anyway, back to this compressor. I didn't have going off at a tangent there, didn't I? Then we have the equalizer. See, this, I've got a very basic equalizer on this because the equalization I'll still do in post because this is quite limited. Yes, you can change the frequency. You can change how much of that frequency you're affecting. And I think it's got a 12 decibel either way of alteration in this thing. So it's not bad, but I prefer to do my EQing in post. Then we have the big bottom. This is what I was talking about. I love the big bottom because it gives you that, it gives your voice that punch, that proper presence, you know. And this, you can go daft with this. You can turn the tune right up on it. And if you want to go for the drive and get that really boomy voice, you just turn the drive right up and there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, TFM Radio, where all the excitement happens all at once and right in your ears. I don't know what that was, but still, put me drive down to there, turn the tune back up to, I want me drive just over half. There we are. And then we have the Oran Exciter. Now this one is set a little bit high for what I like as well. This one is going to affect the highs. It's going to have that sparkle to the upper range frequencies, and you've got to like that sort of thing. If you're listening for long periods of time, too much of this is going to really fatigue the ears. So you'll have listeners tuning out. Let me show you. If we turn this right up, and then you'll hear that top end is really, it tings. You know what I mean? It is good to an extent, but you don't want to use too much of that. Because, like I said, in the short term, it's fine, but long time listening to this, it's a little fatiguing. So get the harmonics down and get the tune down. And that's about as much as you need on that. And then there's your pan, taking it all the way to the left or all the way to the right. It's a pan. We all know what a pan is, don't we? Let's just reset that back. There we go. Now we fully centered. So the effects on it are fantastic. If we just go back, we also have a bit of echo. So we click in here, you can then have echo. Hello? Is it me you're looking for? No. So it's handy. So if you want to do a little bit of vocals on this, I suppose you can. And your reverb, it also has a little bit of that. So, I'm locked in this big room. I'm all on my own. Help me, will you? Come on, lad. I'm stuck down. Well, yeah, I don't know either. So there's a lot this little thing does, and it is impressive, to be fair. If I'm completely honest, it's quite impressive, this. So we'll go back on the presets. You've also got basic ones, which is neutral, which is pretty much no processing, or very little, if any. Then you've got podcaster mode. Welcome to my podcast. Today we're going to talk about absolutely nothing, because that's what makes a show. No, it doesn't. And then the one I prefer is broadcast, because this gives you the presence you need, or the presence you're looking for. Certainly in my case, it gives me the presence I am looking for. So I like that. If we go home and click the settings cog, we can then go into the whole of the interface from, this is where I said you can change your inputs around to whatever you want. But at the moment, I've got them like I like. Then we've got our outputs, which is headphones. I'm currently on low sensitivity. If you buy Rode's very own ones, there's a preset there for them, which I was going to buy. But when I was looking, I thought, I want a new pair of headphones. And I seen the Sennheiser, were they 280s, HD 280s? Yeah, the HD 280 Pros. I seen these, they were like half the price. I thought, no, do you know what? I'll just get them. So, your headphones. Routing. Now, this is great. Like I was saying, if you click into any of your channels, you can choose what goes to that channel. So at the moment, I've just clicked into Bluetooth, and all I've disabled there is the Bluetooth. It does the same job as the mix minus. So if you're on a phone call, anything that's come through your mixer, the person on the phone call can hear. But the reason you delete the Bluetooth input is so what they don't hear is themselves coming back to them, which is what mix minus does. Or you can have everything going to the main mix and them hearing everything. And you can do that for every single channel. So you can choose what certain lines get access to, which is good for streamers, because you can have your Discord chat and your game chat completely separate with your game audio, your mic. You can choose whatever goes to wherever, which is really good routing. I know that's a rudimentary way of explaining it, but it does the job. And then we've got after fader listen or pre-fader. I prefer the after fader to listen with, and then whatever I do on here, adjusts it. Where you'll see when we go back into recording that I have post fader. So it doesn't matter what I alter on here. If I alter something by accident, the recording is going to stay at the same level. Multi-track, here we are. We can have it pre-fader, which I do. Post-fader, which everything I do on the mixing board affects that recording. And like I said, you can record direct into this, or you can turn it off and bypass the processing so you get a pure, clean audio feed to edit later with no effects at all on. So there's plenty of choice. There's absolutely loads of it. And processing we've been through. Where were we? Smart pads. Now let's address these. Now these, I had fun playing with these yesterday because you can do these on a phone call as well, which I did with my daughter and my wife. That was a big child. I was having fun. But if you have a intro music, then all you do is literally you can just bring that in. And this is quite good because you can bring your own files. You've got 6 pads, and I think you've got 6 beds. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got 4 banks with 6 pads. But like I said, you can do all sorts. I mean, you can bring anything in. And like I said, these are fully customizable. You can even put your effects on here. So if you want a bit of reverb and echo, but only at certain times, then they're there. So it's absolutely fantastic. It also does have a MIDI function, so you can control OBS scenes. At the moment, I've never tried that. But you have crickets. And this trombone. Oh, I feel foolish. Very, very annoying. And a record scratch there. And welcome to the show. Yeah, man walks into a bar and says, ow. Hey. Dad jokes. Or you can have fun functions like
disguising your voice. Do you like scary movies or not? Please. You know, you can have
loads of fun just playing with these things. And we have clean up on aisle 4. Aisle 4 clean up. Thank you very much. 2 people are having sex in the dairy aisle. Please sort it out. Thank you. So, you know, of the robot sounds. So, and obviously we have a censor button. So when some stupid yeah, that's fun. But the one I was playing most with was I really wanted to be a feminine chipmunk and sell loads of records as a singing feminine chipmunk.
So, this is what I'm gonna do. Chipmunks, we're the chipmunks. I mean, you can alter these as well.
So, you can alter the pitch so you can give yourself a more feminine voice or a more masculine voice. So, you can also do stuff like that. Or
you can be a big scary monster. Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand.
I can have fun for ages with these. And you can also
a very small robot. Very, very small. Now I sound like an Apple employee.
You know, and then ducking. Ducking is really handy. So let's say I'm going to play that music bed. Then I add ducking. When I talk, the music dips, or it should do. It's not doing it. All right, shut up. Like I said, you can add loads to this thing. It's so much fun. And if we move to the top, obviously we've got the headphones. The thing I don't like about the headphones, they've got infinite movement. So there isn't a definite end. You do have lights to represent it. And you don't have a definite maximum volume. Obviously you'll see as we'll turn on this one. The light indicates low. And then, yeah, you know, you do have lights to indicate it, but you can literally scroll forever. So I don't really like that. This is your main control knob, so you can get into, you know, if you want to get into your virtual inputs, you can do that. And it also navigates when you're doing your processing or navigating through this. Anything you want to alter, you can do on there. It's canny. It really is. The record function. This has a virtual record. So you press and hold, or you tap it, and it will record. So this is going directly to the SD card now. And if I tap it, it will pause the recording. And if I press and hold it, it will stop the recording and save it. I do prefer the RodeCaster Pro 2 because it's a physical button. You know, this, especially with having to hold it to stop recordings, your thumb's covering it, so you don't actually know if what it's doing. You're just going on muscle memory at this point. I normally put this much pressure on and leave it on for this long, and then it's stopped. So you're relying purely on muscle memory. with my basic first impressions, did I go through all of this? No, I didn't. I stopped, didn't I? I stopped on SmartPads. Right. So we're back into the UI and we can go into the display. We can alter the brightness for the display and the buttons and have them turn off after a certain length of time or stay on. By default, it's set to never. Metering. When you get this thing, it'll be in default. Put it in broadcast. It gives you more information on the screen of your levels and stuff like that. So just go with broadcast and leave it as that. Haptics. How would you want the thing to vibrate to you? You can do it on every single tap. No haptics at all, or haptics on a long press. Long press. Because you don't want the thing going off all the time, do you? And how your touches affect the record button. Do you just want to tap it to pause or tap it to stop? You know, the pause is better, so tap to stop, tap to pause and hold to stop and hold to stop. That's the way to go there. Then we go into show. Now, what you can do is all recordings you can listen to from here and cut down from here. You can do a little bit of mild editing. You can export your settings onto your SD card. So if you go to a friend's house and they've got a RodeCaster, you can then slip in and have all your settings on their RodeCaster. And you can import as well. You can create a new show from here. And you can put this in transfer mode. So without removing the SD card, you can transfer everything to your computer for editing. And your system. You have network, which at the moment I'm connected to my hub. You can disconnect from that. Connect to wired if you like. There's no need. An advanced would just give you your IP address and stuff like that. Bluetooth. Connect your Bluetooth device. At the moment, I have my... Oh, nothing. I should have my Galaxy Fold connected to it, but it isn't connected. MIDI. This is what I was talking about. In OBS, you can control your scenes and such with MIDI, with these pads, by assigning little MIDI commands to them, which might be handy. I haven't played with it yet, so I don't know how that works. But if you're a streamer, that's perfect. You don't need the Elgato. Stream Deck. Then we have date and time, which is self-explanatory. Language. And information. Now, if you want to check for firmware update, this is the place to do it. Device information. You know, it'll tell you what firmware you're on. Check for an update. Firmware is up to date because I did update it yesterday. And the analytics, what you want Rode to collect. And I think that's about it. Yeah. So far my impressions are very positive because the sound this thing gives you. I mean, I'm going to do a full in-depth review. At the moment, I've only really tried it with the Shure SM7B. I had a quick flick around with the other microphones I have, an old Behringer one, me SM58, and some Synco wireless mics. And I wasn't too impressed with them. That's why I decided to go onto Amazon last night and buy the wireless me, because, like I said, in here, when I get it, I compare it directly to the device. It's got the receiver built in, so all you need to do is connect the transmitter, and boom, Bob's your uncle. So I decided to get the pair because obviously I can use that on the phone as well, but when I'm not, I can use it on here, and I want to see what it's like. Because, like I said, now and then I do like a lapel mic. So, yeah, we got that. And it's a package. I mean, you're talking £560 for this thing. Or £550, something like that. I mean, yes, it seems like a lot of money, but in the audio space, it's not really. Like I said, this thing cost me around about 150, I think, and this cannot do half of what this does. This is big, it's cumbersome. Yes, it's handy for live shows, but for recording, it didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. And you can pay stupid money for an audio interface, what literally just gives you an input and a gain dial. This gives you so much more. And I've got to admit, I'm quietly impressed so far. I know I'm easily impressed, but yeah, as a complete package, I got to admit, I really, really like it. Stay tuned for a full review, and don't forget Then wireless me mics, they arrive tomorrow. I'll be giving my impressions on them and how they work with this. But on that for now, thanks very much, guys. I'll catch you next time. I just can't help it. I like it. I know, I fail in life. Later.